can click on, where somebody could then click on and make a contribution to Whale Whale. And that will be a separate, I guess, WordPress one that I guess you know how to do the WordPress kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The only question, somebody has something going on in the background. Abdul, can you, it might be your end. Can you just put yourself on mute until you want to talk?
Yeah, he did.
Because
Okay.
it's pretty disruptive. Or somebody's walking. Anyway, question, Sean, how easy is it to, because this is called Whale Whale. Abdul, can you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, I can. Mine is on mute.
It doesn't show mute.
Just a minute, please.
Now it does.
Now it does. Good. Let's see if that takes care of that background noise. I think it does. Thanks. Sean, just a quick question on this website for the health one that's related, primarily health, is whalewhalekebra.org. Can we make that, I'm not sure we want to call it Whale Whale Kebra unless we add health, then it makes it very long, or we just go WWK Health. And then the soccer one, what is the best way to name these? I'm just putting it out to the group. And Abdul, you can unmute yourself and add your comments as well. So if we have two websites, we don't want to make the name so long, but we want to make sure that when people are looking for soccer, they find the soccer one. And when they look for health, they look for the health one. Any suggestions?
Well, as of right, I'm not sure how, is Amina on the line? I'm not sure how she set it up to begin with, but it really depends on how she did it. Whether you can have two different names or you would have to just have like a subdomain. It would be like www, whatever it is now, whalewhalekebra/soccer. Or, I mean, you can do two different domain names on the same. It would just matter about the hosting plan.
Okay, maybe you can talk to Amina about that offline. Yeah, Amina, and come back with what you think is the best way to do this. Because when I Googled Whale Whale Kebra, I got the old Norwegian one, and I got, who was the intern, Elliot, that created the early health one?
Yeah, that was a year or two ago. It may have been Jennifer.
Jennifer, but no, I don't know. I don't think it was Jennifer.
No, don't worry about it.
But anyway, when I did Whale Whale Health, Kebra Health, that popped up. So somehow we have to get rid of those after we're finished, because it's just going to confuse the audience. We have too many websites running around. And, so we want to come up with one that's clear for soccer and one clear for health, and then get rid of the other ones, however we can do that.
I don't know that we have the I personally don't have the capability to get rid of the other ones if I don't have like the background information. I don't know if Sean knows how to do that, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't log in without, you'd have to have an admin login to be able to shut those down.
I think we had one for Amina's, Elliot.
I'm going to go back and look. I think Simi at one point did some and sent us what her information was. I think I'll be able to find it.
Okay, but don't take it down yet until Sean and
Yep.
Amina are finished with it, if they need it for some information. But then that should be taken down. The Norwegian one, I guess it's been around forever. Anyway, we'll end up with just R2 plus maybe that Norwegian one. Okay, we're gonna continue on, and hopefully we'll have a chance to go through the website with everybody. Let me get back to share a screen. Okay, I want to just bring everybody up to date on, okay, our projects. SOMO Africa. I think everyone was copied on the email with our latest conversation with the folks from SOMO Africa, which is the business training and coaching and funding. They met with the woman in charge, Maureen, met with both Abdul and myself separately, and then we agreed to going ahead to have an orientation, a 3-hour orientation for 15 of our CHWs to learn about the program. And she sent the agenda so you could see the type of topics they're going to go over. And I'm not, you know, it's really an introduction to find out who in our group is interested enough and will make the commitment to sign up for the business course, which is 8 weeks. It's not 8 weeks full time, but it will be intensive training with researching ideas, business ideas, researching competition, getting trained on pricing, everything that I went through with the Stanford Seed program for larger companies. This program is geared for folks who are in the lowest income communities in Africa. And they've been very successful. Both I and Abdul have met with them. I went to their place, met some of their graduates. They're probably the best program I've ever seen in business development at the Kibera level. So, and I know them through friends from Stanford Business School. So that's what we're going to be going through. I'm not sure about the budget. It's not going to be very much, I don't think, for the orientation, but then we'll need scholarships for the folks who sign up for the business training, which I am hoping we get through the Rotary Club, that I just will update in a few minutes. I made a presentation there yesterday. Anyway, the SOMO Africa is moving forward. And, you know, we'll get more updates as they give their orientation. We'll give a full feedback report based on how that works out and how many people show up and what the next steps are. The next update is M-Pharma. We did hear back from them. They've been snowed under, which we thought. And so that was a relief that we heard back from them. We heard back from Dr. Harriet. And then Pharma have not moved forward on their two pharmaceutical partners in Kibera for whatever reasons. They're looking for truly registered good partners to set up their operations in Kibera, in which we are going to be participating with Abdul and our CHWs to help them recruit Moody card, signups, et cetera, et cetera. We're hoping this will be a long-term relationship and one that includes contracts and payments to WWK or directly to Abdul and to these CHWs that we have. So that's moving slowly, but the elections in Kenya are coming up in August and everything stops for a month leading up to that and during the elections and then after. So I'm not surprised that there has been, you know, slow movement. The main thing here to understand, or we need to be aware of, is that they do want to have a call next week, either the 25th or 26th is what Harriet proposed. So is everybody available to, and Amina and Sean, you're welcome to join and just listen in if you want to, but it's not something that we would expect you to join. Is either Monday or Tuesday, probably this time, be convenient for Elliot, Bill, Abdul?
I'm okay.
Good. Bill?
Okay, also.
Good. Either one. So I'm going to suggest Tuesday as the first choice, but second choice, I'll say Monday is fine as well. And I'll keep you posted if they respond. I mean, don't wait for the Zoom call. It might get postponed again, but at least we're not stopped. We're just slowly going forward with them.
Yeah, I've got a question or two on it.
Yes.
Because I mean, I've been thinking and trying stuff, as you know, for several months now. I believe that we should be able to, even without them, instead of just sitting around and waiting for them to find 2 pharmacies or 2 partners, we can go ahead with our 2,000 players and their families and start getting a Muti card for all of them just by doing it on the web. And we want to be able to create a database for these 8,000 people, no matter what. And why don't we just get started and get them Muti cards?
Well, the only problem is, Elliot, we want to charge for that with M-Pharma. I don't want to have, we can't pay our CHWs where we used up our church grant.
Yeah, no, I'm stepping back. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm not talking about what we do for the CHWs. I'm talking about what we can try to do to create our own database to begin with. And you can get the Muti cards for nothing. So basically what it really means, I think, is to see if, and this is talking to you, Abdul, if you can, when your teams get together to play, you've signed up the families before, and just get the families at that time to sign up on our database and get a Muti card at that point.
Abdul's on mute.
Yeah.
The question, we want to, as you know, and you actually started doing something, getting some information, some data on the players and their families. And we actually have the thing that we put together, Amina and Christian and I actually created a program that builds on the Muti card, but it would be information that you, Wayo, would own data on all the players and their families. And as part of it, you can go, anybody in the world can go on to, or in Kenya, can go on to the website and get a Muti card. And what I'm wondering is if you could, with the coaches, when the teams come together, or maybe finding a few parents, to actually fill out the information, get them a Muti card.
So my question will be, is it possible like for us to get information from one of the M-Pharma representative to give us orientation about the Muti card, so that at least when we will be talking with the community coaches, at least they know exactly what we want from them, or maybe the family, we know exactly what we want from them. But at the moment, like the information we have about the Muti card is very shallow information. But
Yeah.
if we can get like detailed information on exactly what is the benefit about the Muti card, that will be very, very helpful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking that was one of the things that we could talk about with them on the 25th or the 26th, which says we're moving ahead no matter what. We're going to get 8,000, have information about 8,000 people find out what their medication needs are and all of that. And at the same time, we would like to get them all a Muti card because that gives them a drug discount. And what we would hope is you could provide us with some information that would allow the coaches and their parents of the players to know enough about how to just get onto the web and get the Muti card.
The only
I think-
problem, Elliot, is that we really need to pay the coach, unless we have some type of remuneration with our coaches and CHWs, it's going to be done haphazard. I mean, that's just how it goes. That's a lot of work. They spent that week and it was hard work. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you read the follow-up when we had those sessions when I was there, and they wrote up all the advantages and all the issues. It was hard work for that week. It's a lot to ask for people to do for free when they don't have any income. I'd rather we were able to pay them. The job will be done better. They'll be trained, as Abdul said, and we'll get a good product. Otherwise, it's just, it's not going to be well done as much as we hope. That's my only issue, unless we can pay them something. And we had trouble with the coaches before, so we're not using them. Even though they were going to get paid, they didn't show up. They were drunk. They were on drugs. Every report on the coaches was very, very poor. And we can't have our CHWs go through that again.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but the way I believe the way to focus on it, and I've obviously had a lot of experience in the world of pharmaceutical benefit managers and all of that. If we end up signing up, let's say the 8,000 people, and we won't get there right away, in the course of a year, the likelihood is those 8,000 people are going to get at least 2 prescriptions per person on average, which would be 16,000 prescriptions. And the savings on all of those will be well over, let's say $16,000, more than $1 per prescription. And so what we're really saying is to, let's say, to a parent of 3 or 4 kids, a 4-person family, that if you sign up and get the 4 Muti cards, you're not going to get paid up front, but you're going to be able to save at least $8 on prescriptions in the course of a year. Now, do you think we can upfront give them $1 and then get money back from them later, or just get the savings that way?
No, we're not going to be able to collect back. That's too much. I think we have to wait for our call with M-Pharma, see if they're ready to move forward. Because, I mean, this is what we're going to do with M-Pharma, but we need a group. It's sort of like SOMO Africa. We need somebody on the ground there to train people, to pay them, to monitor them, and make it a real project. Otherwise, it's just going to be not up to the standard of what you're expecting.
Let me ask it a different way then. We're on this call with M-Pharma on Tuesday.
Yes.
And we say, we've got somewhere close to 15 community health workers that are interested in, doing some entrepreneurial, job creation kind of thing. Would you, M-Pharma, be willing to pay $1 for every person that gets a Muti card?
Well, let's see how that goes on Monday or Tuesday when we talk to them.
I'm looking for a way, as you can see.
Yeah, I know.
To kind of get the ball rolling, and there's no reason for them to not want to go ahead with this, even if they don't have a pharmacy located yet.
Well, let's see how that's something we can bring up. Like we said, the first step is the Muti cards, and using our CHWs and Abdul to manage them and work with Harriet and their people on the ground to start getting, people signed up. I mean, that's a good opener for a conversation. And then we talk about the details. They're not going to do it for free, obviously, and they know that. And and let's just see if they're ready to get those people signed up or hear what they have to say. They might say, well, we're not really ready because we don't have those pharmacies. We don't want people at this point because they have no place to go. I don't know what they're going to say, but I think we have to listen to where they are and hear and just take it step by step. And, ultimately it would be great for them to pay our community health workers $1 per sign up. But that's a big organizational activity. It can't just start haphazardly, and it has to be done carefully so people are accountable and they get paid for delivering. And Abdul has, like he said, the training. Otherwise, it'll be like that first week we did it. It was okay, but it wasn't great. They had a lot of problems, and we don't want to repeat that. And we said the next time this happens, will be more training, and we'll screen the coaches. Abdul has a list of people he's not going to use again. But we learned a lot from that first week of collecting data, and a lot of it was not good because the people were not trained. It was new to them. And, we have to learn from. I'll send again out the comments that were made at those breakout groups. We spent hours going over that, listening to them, and every group said about the same thing, right, Abdul? It was,
Yes.
yeah. And we'll share it with everybody. So we have to be more organized and more professional. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So why don't we discuss this with M-Pharma on Tuesday and see what their response is? Because
Nancy,
yes,
do they see the potential value in this partnership?
yes, I think so. I really think so. When we met with them, Kibera is an area they want to focus on for their, community service, project, because they're a social, impact company. But they're looking for 2 licensed pharmacies operating in Kibera to partner with. And for some reason, it slowed down. The people they thought they were going to deal with got squirrely or weren't as good as they expected, et cetera. And, Abdul and I spoke about that. And Abdul, you can chime in. He said a lot of people lie about their license they feel like this big company is going to come in and take my business away. They are very suspicious. So that could be one of the reasons why they lost these 2 people. But they'll give us an update on Tuesday, because once they have those pharmacies lined up and they're operating in Kibera, then we can provide value to them. And they saw that as a value. They were very excited about it. So yes, they're very open to it. It's just that, they got stymied with losing or not going forward with the 2 partners they thought they had.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Tuesday we'll go through and just see, and, and just, hopefully there are future partners and we'll be helpful to them, but we also want to get paid and provide a livelihood, just like you said, Elliot, to the CHWs. So it's a win-win. It should be a win-win, partnership.
I don't want to, I think I'm sounding too aggressive on it, Nancy, but I fully agree with all that you said on the assessment stuff. But if we just wait on Tuesday to hear what they have to say, I think we're going to be disappointed, because they're going to say, well, we haven't been able to, the 2 pharmacies that we got fell through, and we're going to go and try and do it. Well, it could be 3 months, 6 months, it could be a year, and they still don't have the 2 pharmacies. I absolutely believe that going ahead and getting the 8,000 people that we want to start providing healthcare for, including pharmacies, are things that we can start with tomorrow. And it's at least putting on the table a proposal to them to have that be considered, either in in going sequentially with that before they get the 2 pharmacies, or at least together trying to do both of them.
Yeah, no, I said we could do that, but we need to have them to commit to the training and payment.
Yeah.
And, we can't do it without them. I don't want Abdul to take those people out again. I refuse. I heard them. We're not going to do it. We need M-Pharma to train them, to pay Abdul to supervise them, to make it a real project. We can't do it by ourselves.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. But the
Okay?
issue, I mean, there were you were in an email to Abdul saying, maybe you can go out and find a couple of pharmacies that we could suggest to them.
Yes.
That to me is a consulting project that they should pay Abdul, whatever, a couple $1,000.
No. He
Right.
went around with the fellow that belongs to M-Pharma, and they were looking at different pharmacies. And Abdul, you said, I think that's something that shows that Abdul is a real valuable player, and that WWK has something to offer. Abdul is not going to make the deal. He's just going to look around and see if there's anybody out there that might be worth for them to talk to. He's not going to do the deal. He's not going to be the middleman. He's just, with his eyes and ears, offering some ideas that might not work at all. So he's not signing up to be a consultant with them, he doesn't know what a qualified pharmacy is. I don't think that's right, to have a contract for Abdul just to, talk about who he knows or might work. He's not an agent. He's not qualified to be an agent. He doesn't know if what to look for.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. So anyway, that's M-Pharma, and we'll do it on Tuesday and see where they are. And, we can make recommendations about getting our folks trained and having Abdul be in charge, the face of WWK with M-Pharma. And we'll talk about what that would mean to them exactly, expectations, costs, deliverables, what they expect and what we expect. So we should learn by Tuesday. I have no idea what they're going to say. So let's just move to the next one. Is stoves. The stove lady I talked to, she was out of the country. Abdul had been trying to reach her, and I finally called her this week, and she just got back, and she is going to send somebody to WWK to help the CHWs and Abdul learn how to sell the stoves. So that's a huge win for us. And she's going to bring stoves. So Abdul, you can call her now. She's back. And she said that she will set up at a time for you when it's convenient for you to have all your CHWs available. And she wants to know when and how many stoves you want her to bring. and the training will be set up. One of the main things I said, they need to take people on a sales job, not just in the clubhouse. They need to go walk by walk to show exactly how to approach the customer, how to make the pitch, just like selling a vacuum cleaner door to door in the United States. It's the same thing. Demonstrations, answer questions, and have people go along with her so they can actually see it, the expert in action. And then that person will let each person have a chance to make their own pitch while she's there or he's there to coach. So that should be able to kickstart the stove project.
Nancy,
Yes.
what will it cost for them to do that, and how do we pay it?
It doesn't cost anything except, now this is the beauty of this. It is a stove that costs us about $9, no, $12, no, $9. And they sell the stove for $12. It's actually in shillings, but that's okay. And so the profit is about just under $3. And we want to build a business around this and have one person or two take this on as a real business for under WWK Kibra. So it could be Aaliyah, or it could be, somebody else that Abdul thinks shows the initiative to run this as a business. So the 15 folks are managed, incentivized, and kept to just selling the stoves and not have to do the administrative work. And that person who runs it will collect a portion of each stove to cover his or her costs as the manager of the business. That person will also go to the SOMO Africa training to understand what it takes to grow, start and grow a successful business. And they'll also have access to grants along the way, especially if the project becomes successful. So that doesn't take any startup costs.
Okay.
It takes initiative on the part of the CHWs. And if there's no initiative, there's no business. So that's the crop. If they have no interest, then there's not going to be a business.
Right.
But at least we're offering alternatives. So we have SOMO Africa, we have M Pharma, and we have the stoves at this point. And hopefully they all take off in one way or the other. So people have options for, self-employment.
Right.
So, any other questions on the projects? Okay, so what I want to I did meet with the Rotary Club, which is, everybody knows, a big international service club. And the presentation went really well. They really loved, and can you see this? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just quickly go through this. And so I don't know if you can all see this. Let me put this down. Okay, so I had 20 minutes. So I made this presentation exactly in 20 minutes. And they asked a lot of questions. Can you all see this?
No.
No.
Okay, sorry. Let me start over. Share. Okay, can you see that now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so you'll see what the goal was once I get going. I looked up some of the key things that all Rotary clubs they look for hope and opportunity around the world. So you can see hope and opportunity quite a bit through this presentation. So this was why I talked about where and what is Kibera. Very few people had ever heard of Kibera. Why should we care? How I became involved and stayed involved. The big deal was the health fair. The person who recommended me to make a presentation talked about this June 11th health fair we had. So of course I included that. What has changed for us? And you'll see new opportunity and hope and partnership with SOMO Africa. So I chose, and this is a picture of us at the health fair for those of you who don't know. So this is Kibera, because I wanted people to realize how big an area this is.
And the density.
And the density. And with a population of 500,000 to 1 million, most live in extreme poverty. And my friend was with me in Africa. Remember Jill Abdul? Jill was the one. Yeah, Jill is a member of this Rotary Club, and she's the one that recommended me to speak. And she was with us in Kibera last September. Was it last September? Yeah, last September. And so she chimed in and said, yeah, it looked exactly like that. The lack of running water, sanitation, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. So people could get a real feeling of what we're talking about. I talked about how I got involved in 2017 with the Stanford Seed. A lot of people knew the Stanford Seed business program. And I wanted to bring that out because it ties in with the SOMO Africa business plan, a business program. And that I had lived there and then been involved with them for 5 years. And I said, we're a community organization run by an all volunteer team, blah, blah, blah. And it started off with soccer and community service organization with now over 2,000 boys and girls in Kibera. And then during COVID, we had to stop soccer. And we learned about the lack of basic health services. So then we sponsored 25 of our outstanding soccer young adults to be certified as community health workers, which was to lead to a sustainable life. However, it was not to be. And this is where I also mentioned that all these boys and girls that were playing soccer are now young adults over the 5 years. And we saw that there's no future for them because, and then I said, now let's just take a quick look at this health fair we had in June, just as last month. And I said it was very successful. It was our first health fair. It was free for all. And we partnered with the Ministry of Health. And what we offered, the vaccinations, immunizations, and diagnosis and free medicine provided to all. Everybody, thought that was great. And I said, here's some pictures of people waiting to register. Here's somebody getting, tested for blood pressure. I said, hypertension, diabetes. Here's some grannies and aunties waiting to be registered, to be shown. I said, there's a lot of older citizens there who don't have any health care, and they count on health fairs like this to get any type of diagnosis and free medication. So then, the children are involved. They get, free immunizations and height and weight and family planning. And then here people are going up to pick up their free medications after they're diagnosed with whatever it is they have. We also gave free COVID vaccinations. And then, I said, so the fair was great, but what happened was that we realized while I was there that the community health workers are not going to be paid by the government of Kenya, the Ministry of Health. And we had to stop and think, what do we do for these young adults? And I said, so then I segued into Kibera young adults. Self-employment is their best opportunity for income. I said, the lack of jobs in Africa is pervasive. And in Kibera, there's a lot of opportunities for self-employment. Abdul and I have already addressed some of the, providing water, providing sanitation pickup, providing garbage pickup. It goes on the list that there are opportunities. So then I wanted them to connect that with our community health workers. And here's a great picture of a few of them. They said, trained by the Ministry of Health to serve their community, the Kenyan government is not paying their monthly stipend. So this is like a shock to the system. But here's we're providing hope and opportunity. And we segue into what are we doing about it? We're partnering with SOMO Africa, which is an organization that partners with entrepreneurs looking to drive change by building enterprises in their own low-income urban communities. And then I just spent a few minutes talking about how successful they have been. And there's a connection with Stanford in California through mutual friends. And that Abdul and I both have met with them and agreed to go forward with them with some of our more ambitious and capable and interested CHWs. And that's how I ended it. And, they had a lot of questions and they said, how can it be all volunteer? I said, it is. I mean, that's the beauty of it. All these people that work with WWK Kibra do not get paid. All these young people. And look at Abdul. He's been, I talk about leadership and how we back strong leaders. And Abdul is the strong leader that we back because he can make it happen in his community. And then I give my contact information and people they told me, don't come out and say, oh, I'm looking for all of you to pony up, except they do have a grant process of which I'll be getting, an application. So my friend Jill said probably the best thing to ask for is scholarships to the SOMO Africa training. So if we have 15 people and it's $100 a person to go through the training, I will ask for $1,500 to have our CHWs go through this training. So that was really an eyeful. We need to go after more Rotary clubs, which I will do here, which Neil Young, who is in Kenya right now, who's a friend, who's a Rotarian from Bethesda, he's going to meet with Abdul in a week or so, right, Abdul? And you're going to take him on a tour.
Yes.
Yes. Why don't you explain what he did already and what you're going to do with him?
Okay. I got like stuff from Neil, from the one of the local hotel, whereby I got some drugs and also some a machine, at least electronic machine, to measure some blood pressure for my mom. That I really appreciate for all the people who made it successful. And I'm planning to meet with Neil so that at least I can take him around the community. After taking him around the community, I will organize for a home visit for 2 or 3 guys if he will have time. And also I'll take him to the office where, at least the club office where we normally meet, so that at least we can get like, I can give him like exactly brief about like why apart from whatever I'll be giving him a brief about like the community while we are in the ground. Then if it will be over, or if it will be on the weekend, that will be very good because we'll be having like YY soccer league going on. Also, I'm planning also to take him there so that at least you can see exactly how the youth are engaged over the weekend when we have like our activity. So what I'm planning to do is I just want to get like his itinerary exactly on how long he will take for me to spend with him in Kibera. So if I can get that information, so those are some of my program with him. If he will come, at least I can engage him in those different visits.
And the other thing, he is going to make contact with the local Rotary Club in Nairobi. You know, Rotary's in Africa, and they do have at least one Rotary Club in Nairobi. I'm not sure if they're as active and as giving as the ones in the United States, but we'll find out. But Neil is a very active Rotarian. I've known him for 30 years. I worked with him on a nonprofit that dealt with Russia in the 90s. And he is unbelievably giving and very involved. So our goal is to get Neil involved and hopefully to meet with Elliot and Bill sometime this fall, because this Rotary Club also mentioned, oh, we can find containers for you. I went, you can find containers to send the, we can get soccer gear for you. So they're going to start collecting soccer gear here as well. But I said, you know, the containers are the big missing piece in our organization. So between my group here, the Rotary Club here, and the Rotary Club in Bethesda, I think we have our container problem addressed. So anyway, Bill, especially for you, I mean, this ties perfectly into your network there with Montgomery. If you and Neil and the Bethesda Rotary Club can partner, I think you can create miracles of getting this donated soccer stuff to Kenya. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's got a great deal of potential.
Yes.
I had a question for you, Nancy.
Yeah.
On the Rotary grant, do we have a sense of what their average grant size is? Because what occurs to me, I like your concept of basically sponsoring the training. Is there a way to get a little bit more to actually give people a small stipend, those who come and participate, kind of to incentivize them to actually do it?
Yeah, or use it for their business. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think, you know, if it's $100 for the training, and then for the ones who succeed, we help them start with their new business. The ones who finish, another $100.
Yeah.
Something like that, because not all of them are going to start businesses. And we want to have a, you know, a carrot out there. Okay, you not only get $100 to go, or you're going to have the training worth $100, you'll get a grant from Rotary of another $100 to start your first business.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And we'll make it for 15 people, you know, regardless. Yeah, so then we'll have $3,000 for the SOMO program. Yeah.
Well, I know Elliot and I look forward to meeting Neil.
Yeah, I think you'll like each other. Neil is, you know, experienced, older. Yeah, just a really good guy. I think you'll all really, I mean, you're all the same. You're all good people. And since he's right there, and he's very active in Rotary International, he could really pull everything together. So it's not so hard for us. You know, I was there yesterday going, oh my goodness, thank goodness my neighbor Jill asked me to speak. You know, I know Rotary is good, but you know, I never been a member, and I had forgotten how active they are internationally with these projects. They're good. They're really good people. So many people came up afterwards and said, oh, that sounds so important. So important. Thank you. Because they're all business people. So they get it. You know, they get that people need opportunity to be able to earn a living. And if there's no jobs, that means self-employment. And most of these people are self-employed business people. So anyway, that's all I had. And oh, we only have 4 minutes left. But does anybody have anything else? Oh, we wanted to see the website, or do you want to do that next week?
Yeah,
And-
Nancy. So actually, while you were talking earlier, I went in and tried to add in, like, change the name. And so now I'm not able to access the website. And so
Okay.
I'm looking at some articles to see how I can get back to accessing the website. So next time we meet, we can definitely show that website.
Great.
Or then, yeah.
Yeah, no, I looked at it, and it's, you know, Sean, thank you so much. And Amina, I mean, I can tell Sean knows what he's doing. It's a great start. It's a great start. Thank you. It means so much. And especially now with Rotary interested in us, you know, by the time we get the grant and we'll have a website to give them. So good.
I have a question for you, Abdul. And Nancy mentioned the containers, and you and I have talked about some of that before. How much does it cost if you had to buy a 20-foot by 40-foot container in Nairobi? Do you know how much the price would be?
Yeah, the container, we have like different vendors who are selling different like containers in Nairobi. For the 20 feet, I think it's around like 150 Kenya shillings to 200,000 Kenya shillings. For the 40 feet, it's around like 350 to 400,000 Kenya shillings.
Yeah, and that's like 2,000 for the smaller one, and 4,000, a little less than 4,000 for the 40-foot in dollars.
You can really buy one of those 20 by 40 for $4,000 US.
It'll be used, so it's not new.
Yeah, those are used containers. Yeah.
But that would
They're
be
functional.
Yes.
Yeah, they're almost like a little mobile home, or they're like, you know, when you go on a trip, they have those storage things that all say MRST or whatever they say on the side of them.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you can
But
paint
I've
them.
seen
Yeah. No,
for
they're
almost
used.
all those, like the Ministry of Health has their big facility. They've
Sure.
stacked 3 of those
Yeah.
20 by 40-foot things together.
And Somo Africa has a bunch of them. They even have fans in them to keep them cool till they get hot in the summer. But a lot of organizations use them. They're, like Abdul said earlier, they're very useful. You can move them.
Let me ask you this.
They're inexpensive. They're well constructed.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great bargain. The question then I would have as talking to Farmer on Tuesday would be to say, if, you know, Whale goes ahead and gets a container, and there is, you know, you're having some trouble getting all of these medications and all of that. What about having Whale set up a facility where it's the health one, and it becomes a distribution place for like over-the-counter and for prescription drugs, where people can just show up and pick them up, where there are doctors that have already prescribed the things. And Pharma is in the delivery business. They're out there delivering some of these, that they could deliver them to the Wayo Health Center, and people could come by there and pick them up.
Well, let's say that for the discussion with them, because I'm sure they'll have requirements that we can ask them what they are in order to be a delivery system, what it would take, because that, you know. Okay, so we'll put that on the discussion for Tuesday. Anybody else? Bill?
No, we're good to go. I'm looking forward to the conversation with Informa.
Yeah, thanks. And thank you, Sean and Amina and Abdul. And we'll see you on Tuesday.
Okay, thank you so much, Nancy.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Amina and Sean, can you set up, we can have another one of those University of Maryland ones that did not work this week. I apologize. To include the two of you and Christian for maybe next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Yeah, that's fine. That works.
All right.
For me.
Will
Yep,
you
that
set
works.
Okay. Okay. Everybody
All right.
finished?
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye, take care.
Thanks. Oh, it's the weekend.